You're listening to This Week in America with Rick Bratton.
Welcome back, everybody, coast to coast, This Week in America. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. As mentioned, Cara D. Brown is our guest on the show today. A preschool teacher, lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. This is her first book. Working on the book with her 9-year-old nephew, Zachary. The book is called Isabelle's Wish, an adventure story for young readers. And Cara Brown, the author, is with us on This Week in America. Hi, Cara. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Hello. Nice to be here with you.
Well, it's great to have you here. This is the first book, and I mentioned that your 9-year-old nephew was part of this process. How did this whole thing come about, the idea, and then actually turning it into a book?
Well, I started. I was babysitting my nephew a lot, and I would read him stories in the evening, and I just wanted to like. I just like the whole thing about writing because I've been writing since I was little, and so I just thought I'd write a book about Zachary. I just used his name. It's not really about my nephew, but it's I used his name, and he had a friend named Isabelle, so I thought, hey, I'll write a book and have him be part of it.
Well, it's got to be exciting for him, and this book is really doing well, receiving great reviews. And talk about a little bit the story. You got Isabelle, as you mentioned, in real life, a friend of Zachary, a sister to Zachary in the book. She's, 7 years old, second grade. Zachary's 9 years old, fourth grade. Rather adventurous. Talk about on the day of that everything occurs, a routine, they think, trip home from school, but it really didn't turn out that way, did it?
Yeah, they start out coming home from school, and then Isabelle notices the haunted house and goes, "Hey, let's go inside and see," So they go from there.
Yeah,
follows her in that.
A lot of dares as they go through this, and it's a different way that they're going home. Talk a little bit about what happens, because they meet somebody there, and that reminds them of their mother, and there's a time machine that's involved in this as well.
Yeah, Isabelle goes inside the house, and then she meets this woman that looks a lot like her mother, and at first she's kind of taken aback and thinks that, she goes, "Mom, is that you?" And then she finds out that she's not her mom, but the woman says, "No, I'm not your mother, but I know her very well," and all that stuff. And then there's an earthquake that happens, is because Zachary follows her in the house, and they both get caught in this earthquake kind of time warp thing, and they end up somewhere else where they don't know where they are.
Well, yeah, it's a cute story. There's so many messages in the story as well. It's really entertaining. The book we're talking about is Isabelle's Wish. It's available at Amazon. The author is Cara with a C. D. Brown. Cara D. Brown. The book's, like I said, available at Amazon. You can get information and actually link up with Cara. Her Facebook page, of course, facebook.com, Cara Brown Books. And in the book, Isabelle's Wish, the sketches and illustrations, Cara, I understand you did those, and Zachary was of some assistance as well in doing the sketches.
Yes, I drew a lot of the pictures, and then Zachary drew the picture of the evil twins, and he actually drew a picture of the father as well, but I didn't really like that one. Actually, so I ended up putting a picture in that I was drawing, and it was actually a picture of my ex-husband.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. That the book is called Isabelle's Wish. It's designed an adventure story for young readers. Talk about putting the story together, the process of doing that. Do you have an outline before you started this? Did you know where you're going to go as the process began?
Yeah, I wanted to start because that's the hardest thing for me, is to know where, I want to do something, but it's like getting started is the hardest part.
Yes.
So for me, I took this children's book writing course, and that was one of the things is that we went over like the different steps of generating an idea and brainstorming and clustering and free writing and all that stuff. And yeah, so I kind of had an outline of where I wanted to go with the story. I thought about, some of the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to write a book about, with kids in mind that I work with, because I work a lot of times with 4-year-olds, and I wanted to write something between the ages of 7 and 12. And, some of my influences, I guess, is like, I like The Wizard of Oz and things like that. So, so I went through an idea of where I wanted to go and trying to do a backstory of different the characters, because initially I thought that Zachary was going to be my protagonist, but it turned out to be really Isabelle that was kind of like driving the story along.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
That's interesting. So you had an idea as you're going in, and then that idea sort of what evolved as you were going through the story. How long of time period did this take from the time you decided, I think I'm going to do this, until you actually received the books from the publisher?
I started writing around like 2009, and then I think it took me like maybe 4 years to kind of feel like I was done with writing everything. And then I was looking for an editor, and I got on the computer looking for an acquisitional editor, and then I got in touch with a publishing company that I actually hadn't heard of before, but they communicated with me, and I sent them my manuscript, and then they expressed an interest in actually publishing it. So,
yes.
So anyway, I didn't like publish. I think it got published in 2013 when it all got done.
The book is Isabelle's Wish, an adventure story for young readers. Cara D. Brown is our guest on the program. The book's available at Amazon, and you can link on and get information by going to our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Cara's Facebook page is facebook.com/Cara Brown Books, and Cara is spelled with a C. What was that like? Because this has been a long process, and you mentioned you've been interested in writing for quite a while. It took several years to put the book together, finally get it published. When you got the book for the first time and you're able to actually hold it and look at it and see your name on it, what was that experience like for you?
That was fun. I got this, I guess Arthur's copy of the book, and nicely enough, one of my cousins came to visit that day, and so he was one of the first people that I showed the book to, and that was a lot of fun. It was nice seeing my name in there, and it had Zachary's name as part of the illustration and everything like that. So it was fun, and I sent copies to a lot of my family members and stuff.
Well, yeah,
it was fun.
That has to be a real exciting moment for you. Again, you mentioned your interest in writing. Are you working on other projects now?
I'm thinking about different things of like probably following Isabelle some more.
Right.
Now she'd be like, she was 7 years old then, so she's probably 10 or 11 now.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
we'll be looking for that.
It.
Yeah, that would be fun to see what happens. And as kids are reading this, what do you hope some of the takeaways are? What do you hope the young readers get after reading Isabelle's Wish?
Well, there's some symbolism in there. Hopefully, the kids can see that like the brother and sister. There's that brother and sister bond. They get they kind of grow closer together at the end. She says what her wish is, and and kisses him at the end. And all
Yes.
That. So like hopefully they'll say, oh, because I know what that's like. I guess growing up as the youngest, and having an older sister, and I felt like there was some sibling rivalry there growing up, and hopefully you can kids can realize that they can have a good relationship with their siblings.
Yeah, and there are subtle messages there. It's entertaining. It's a really well done illustrations in the book, Isabelle's Wish. Let's talk a little bit about your background in terms. You mentioned you read as a child. How important was that for you as a child growing up to sit there and be able to grab a hold of a book, to read it, and to escape? Was that an important part of your childhood?
Yeah, I think I've always been kind of like a nerd or geek or whatever. That there was kind of a loner, because I kind of had a childhood where I was sick a lot, I guess, where I was in the hospital every now and then, and so that would be like my escape, I guess, is to read different things, and I would write certain things, and I'd write poems or short stories or something.
The media landscape has changed so much over the years, and concerned that maybe kids aren't reading as much as they used to, and that's not necessarily a good thing. In dealing with the young kids that you deal with, how do you find? Do they enjoy escaping in a book as well? The fantasy of reading a book, of having a book read to them.
Well, that's what I do a lot of times. Is that when I'm in the classroom, I'll read them a story, or I see the kids pick up a book and look at it, but they may not necessarily read the book, but look at the pictures or something.
Yes.
So I like books. I'm always like, oh, I like books, and they say I like books too.
Well, you're a published author, so that has to gain some credibility with the youngsters in the classroom. What has this been like? You mentioned that you took the book and you sent it to relatives and friends, and they had a chance to read it, and you've got the general public buying the book and responding. What kind of response are you getting to Isabelle's Wish?
They're pretty positive. I mean, I've heard some pretty nice things about it, actually, which is nice. Because I've my friends have responded saying, oh, I like it, and because I have some like teacher friends, and some teachers said that they read it to their kids, and and they're like, yeah, I can't wait for the next one or whatever.
See, the pressure's on you now to come up with the next one, and you're going in that direction. The story of two siblings relying on each other, and it's a new adventure story for young readers. It's a perfect book for your children, a perfect book for grandchildren. It's Isabelle's Wish. The author is Cara D. Brown. The book's available at Amazon. Overall, as you look back on it now, and we're talking about it, and the book is published, and friends and family and other people have a copy of it, what was the experience overall like for you? Was it a pleasant one?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do it, because and a thing for me was I'll share a story with you. When I was in college and I was taking this course, I was taking this creative writing class, and I was writing a short story. That was one of the assignments, is to write a short story. I wrote it, and it was a lot. I was having a lot of fun writing it, and then when the teacher graded it, she gave me like a C+ or something. But I really liked the whole process of writing it and stuff, and so I would tell some people at school that it was like, I'm going to write a book someday. And yeah, right. Like they didn't believe it, but I was like serious about it. So
it's too bad you don't have Yeah, too bad you don't have the address of the school teacher, so you could send an autographed copy, of course, of Isabelle's Wish. And, thanks for your encouragement. Love Cara, and see what kind of response you get there. The sequel should go, whatever book you write second, I'm sure will go a lot quicker. You learn some of the shortcuts and things to do and not to do the second time around.
Yeah, I think it should be easier, I guess, to do it this time.
Well, we'll be looking forward to your progress and let us know how you're coming on that. The book, again, is Isabelle's Wish. It's an adventure story for young readers, illustrated by Cara and her nephew, Zachary. The book's available at Amazon all across the country. You can get information by linking onto our website, thisweekinamerica.us. And Cara's Facebook page is facebook.com/Cara with the C, Brown Books. Cara, it's a pleasure to have you with us on the program. Congratulations on Isabelle's Wish, and we will stay in touch and would love to do it again. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's been our pleasure. Our guest on the program, the author of Isabelle's Wish, Cara Brown. Information, of course, available at our website, thisweekinamerica.us.